Today is all about storytelling and the importance of storytelling. I was watching a Jordan Peterson video and he was explaining what storytelling basically is and why every man should know, or everybody in general should know how to tell a good story. And so he started off explaining how the basis of storytelling is having your own knowledge base and your own bank of knowledge to refer back to, so you can bring up different examples and different different parts of your life and other people's lives, different examples, and how you can weave them into the topic that you're trying to talk. Sorry, so he was talking about how in order to have a good conversation between two people, that these two people need to have the understanding that I'm not trying to dominate you in this conversation. The point of this conversation is to be able to learn from each other. I take one thing from you, you take one thing from me, right? So, and then he said, and so he was talking about how learning how to communicate is a very important skill, and the best way to learn how to communicate is by storytelling. And to learn how to tell good stories, you need to read lots of books and you need to write. And so he he was saying how he can tell good stories because he's been in the in the field for 20 years, 20 plus years or whatever. And he's saying that's a good solid base of knowledge that he can always refer back to when he makes his claims and when he's on stage talking. So, and he was saying how you need to read a lot of books, and you need to create your own knowledge base, and you need to create your own knowledge bank that you can always refer back to, and relate it to the topic that you're currently talking about. And so he's saying that this is a great skill that everybody should learn how to do, because if everybody it learns how to communicate properly, that means we can solve we could solve things faster, and B, we learn how to properly um how do you say properly communicate to each other, and properly we learn how to properly communicate with one another, which makes things go faster because we don't have one person trying to dominate the conversation and trying to power over everybody and try to show off, know it, saying that he knows everything, this and that, right? So learning how to articulate properly and learning how to communicate properly is a great skill that everyone should learn. And so I'm trying to relate this back to my life. Before I even started on this self help, I was such a shy kid. I was, I would hunch shoulders, keep my head down, back over like this, talking like this too. I never, I was I don't know if that the right definition is incel or just a fucking beta male basically. I was the complete opposite definition of the red pill community. I guess you could say I was a black pill or some shit because I believe that I was a nihilist, you could say. Even though I think nihilism is, it could be spun in a bad way. I don't think nihilism is good or bad. Just, it could be spun in different ways. But you could say that I was an anarchist. What's the point of living, right? I was that deep into it. And so going to the gym, learning more about mental health, practicing meditating, journaling, learning more about myself, it definitely opened up. It literally opened me up. It opened my chest up, opened my brain up. It just opened me up to be more accepting and more loving and more. I really like having that preparation and doing my homework, and knowing that, and building internal confidence, and then projecting it out to external confidence, right? And also when I talk to other people, they say "Oh wow, you seem confident." I'm like, "Oh, thank you." That's the complete opposite. Oh, I am confident, but I'm afraid of confrontation. So am I confident? I would say yes and no, but so I want to learn how to talk properly, learn how to articulate my words, like watching back my own videos, I'm like halfway there. I would say in my I'm still in the beginning steps of learning how to talk, but I'm like looking back from where I started, I'm like in a completely like I'm almost like in a completely different world. Like I'm able to like before I was like very nasally high speaking much higher up from my neck, very nasally voice and speaking very fast, short breaths, like and like the symptoms of a very shy introverted kid. And now I'm becoming that more like extrovert intro like learning how to play both sides. I still prefer to be alone. I like being alone, being by myself, but it's also nice to have some company once in a while, right? Learning how to play both sides and learning how to use the strengths of both sides, right? So on this journey, learning how to articulate properly, so I'm starting to read books. Right now, I'm still learning how like like these videos that I've like made for myself and for whoever else is watching them, like learning learning from Jordan Peterson's words and applying it to myself. I realized that the examples stick out, but but the people do not stick out. There's many times where I try to what's it called? I try to say an example and relate it back to me or relate it to life and relate it to my life and my experiences. I cannot remember the full details of it. And maybe that's just my own shortcomings and maybe that is just something I need to work on. But I know for sure that in the future I am that type of person who knows how to articulate well. I know how to tell stories. I know exactly what I'm capable of because I am clear of my future. And this is kind of going on a tangent of clarity and stuff. I don't want to I talk too much about clarity. I don't want to talk about that anymore. But reading like learning how to like all the best storytellers, right? You could say are the best people because they understand and they understand well of I guess you could say the struggles. No, I have no idea what I'm trying to say right now. Anyways, storytelling is a skill that I'm not currently practicing. Well, I'm going to practice later. There's just too many things on my plate right now that I'm trying to deal with, and I'm struggling to deal with. I don't hate it. There's many things that I could do better, 100%. But you know, just learning day by day, right? 1% better every day. That's just how it is. So this is one of the skills that I definitely want to be able to have for the next, at least like for the far future. Definitely for the far future. Especially when I'm trying to sell, when I'm trying to network, and when just in general trying to talk or even make these videos too. Learning how to tell stories is probably one of the top skills that I want to have with selling. Selling and storytelling. Wow, that's bars right there. Selling's kind of is like storytelling as well, cause like it's a like they're both a little bit of both. They're both a little bit similar, and so that's why it's my I guess that's why you can say it's my top two skills. I want to be able to do both of them, and if I can have like only those two, if I can only have one skill, I'll probably say sales, but storytelling is definitely up there. Actually, no. I would definitely choose storytelling over sales because selling you just know how to sell, which is probably one of the best skills you can ever learn. But storytelling that could translate to anything, everything, and anything. I remember Jordan Peterson was talking about a craftsmanship, like some guy who does craftsmanship, and he's saying that a craftsmanship to be able to do his job, right? it's a very valuable skill. But he said a craftsman who's able to articulate how to do it and teach other people how to do it, that is 10 times more valuable, because at that point you can now teach other people how to become a great craftsman worker who could practice craftsmanship. So that's why be able to articulate properly is the best skill in my opinion that you can ever learn. That's I wish I'm not gonna say I wish. Fuck that. I'm definitely gonna learn how to tell stories by next year. Next year, that's definitely one of my goals for the end of 2023, is to be able to tell a good, compelling story, and hopefully on my YouTube channel I could put out great content using storytelling. Basically, these 30 days are just the beginning of. It's just building that initial discipline and that initial like work ethic to upload videos and push past that pain and that resistance, and then hopefully in the future get some more money, upgrade some equipment, and be able to be much more mobile. Because right now I'm just recording on a mic that's stuck to my desk and a webcam that's basically attached to my computer and it's on my monitor. I can't really be much. I can't be mobile. I'm sure I could probably still tell a decent story with just like editing and talking, but to be able to like, I guess you could say, compete with the best people like Mr. Beast and like those type of guys, I would need to uh be able to move around and use different shots and this like having like a production team in this. I don't know this. I don't know if I'm gonna do that. I definitely do want to be able to tell good stories, and in the future, who knows if it's gonna be relating to like self-help, and it's probably be relating to self-help. I have a plan that in December, the 4 books I was planning to read this November, I only read half of them, and I was supposed to read the third book this week, but I just couldn't do it. There's just, like I said, there's too many things that I had to do. So on December, I'm gonna upload 4 videos of a book that I was reading, a book a book that I was reading, and I'm going to upload it using storytelling. I lost my train of thought and I've been distracted, but I love you guys. Have a good night. Mwah.